Welcome in, everybody. Unwelcome your thoughts off the hip. November 11th. It's your boy HD with my brother Razor.
Shout out to all the veterans out there.
Happy Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans. Salute. We appreciate your services for sure.
Hold on, wait.
We got some shooters. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walking out, they ring a big smile, all handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, all handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. It's off the hip.
Yes, sir. It's off the hip. Before we get on with our wonderful episode, I would like for y'all to just check out the new single that I got out right now, Close Ones. You will be able to get to the song as soon as I take. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this graphic off right now, because once you hit that QR code to Off the Hip, from that same page, under Vibe Fusion, you would get this next song I'm about to play. Yes, sir, Chad. Come on.
Yeah. I'm always surrounded by close ones, the ones that I know that they'll owe us. You know that it's food with a toast up, catching some cars like a roller, steam on the head like a roller, crushing the side and I roll up, stay out the way.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
Yip, give me spooky, catching that yip, feel like yip, music's a goner, hit it back on the mall, leaving your family a song. There's nothing I took on this ball, blame it on me if you wanna come over, it's drama. Got it and got it from Papa, Papa don't up with the lava will solve all the problems. Problems created by dollars.
Lord have mercy.
Been a long way from madness, but if it happens to happens, then it just happens to happen. They know they lied to me, tried for me, ran down fake tears, even cried for me. My apologies, my apologies.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Playing for the bread, basketball in a bubble. 2024, what is money when you on level one? Everybody got a price to pay, but one thing pain would hit the same. Different levels with different ranks, different pills with different pains. Just read the lines, we want the same. They knew they lied.
Once again, check. Y'all hit that QR code. Y'all gonna take y'all to Off the Hip official theme song for this show. And it should also take you to the channel for Vibe Fusion, and you can go listen to this song along with a few others, man. We got it out right now. Go check it out. We working, we cooking.
Who let this man cook?
The oven is on. The oven is on. Shout out to our other co-host Snake Eyes. He can't be here right now. He's fresh off coming off of a battle. He might pop in randomly. We love when he does. Yeah, it's a vibe when he do that. I ain't gonna lie. The random
Little drive-bys.
Yeah, the drive-by hot takes. I love it. So we outside right now. Chat, I hope y'all here with us. I know we gave y'all enough time to pour in while the music was playing. Hope y'all had a wonderful night. It's wrestling, man. Oof. I'm gonna just put it on the screen one more time. For those who missed tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, I know there was like little murmurs of it being taped, being recorded, whatever the case may be. I was even one of those. I was like, I might not want to tap in. I'm glad I tapped in. I'm glad
I love you.
Solo. I love you. Man, listen. This is the one rare time before we get into the good stuff. I want to take it to the top. Gunther comes out. This is the most deflated Gunther I've seen, dare I say, ever. And if it's like you said, jet lag is a motherfucker. So if it's not that, and he's really out there putting on, man, this brother looks tired, exhausted, beat.
Hey, if y'all saw what went down during Crown Jewel, Cody put that boy to work.
You know what's another thing too? I feel like Damian Priest was kind of on point with his promo towards Gunther today.
He's on that time.
He didn't hold back not once at all.
That man wants the smoke. He wants the fade. He wants blood.
Because that's what I do enjoy about this time around. Damian Priest was the one that had distractions when they matched up. Gunther went into that with a clear mind, like, bro, I'm about to scoop that title off you. I want King of the Ring. This is mapped out for, and Damian Priest also touched on that tonight. Where, you know, I can't wholeheartedly agree because during that same time period, Gunther was defending his IC championship belt, but his championship, like the way they inserted him into the scene was kind of like how Damian laid it out. You got a phone call, you in the tournament, that's it. You got your opportunity. That's where Damian Priest had to go through that grueling Money in the Bank match. And throughout having his Money in the Bank, he had to pick his spots wisely. But the main part that Damian Priest touched on that got my attention was the fact he said his aura. Well, I'm paraphrasing now. I don't think aura was the word he used, but he said Gunther's aura is fading. Like since that match Gunther beat Damian Priest, he noticed that he was fading.
Man's in cruise control.
Yeah, he seen him fading at Saudi.
Because if memory serves, prior to him beating Priest for the belt, his only competition was, in all honesty, what? Randy? He just flew to everybody else.
In that tournament, yeah.
And
that
then,
was it.
And then post winning, he had the run back with Randy. He had the match with Cody. Has he wrestled anybody else for that belt yet, or just them two?
Sami Zayn in between on that Raw.
Yeah, but that's wash.
And also, like, just like we spoke on off air, that moment they keep showing Gunther's face. He looks tired. Looked like he wanted to cry at one point. Like he's really selling the fact that he might, in his mind, not be able to beat Damian Priest, and it's coming across so well because this is the first time that I'm really seeing Gunther have to face some kind of adversity.
He looked vulnerable.
Yes. Vulnerable. He looks bothered by the situation. He's at odds with Ludwig too, I feel. Like they're not really on the same page right now.
Because like he told Ludwig not too long ago, as he dogged him out, we both got to start doing better. It ain't all kosher right now. I'm slipping. You're slipping.
That's right, yo. Well, I see you, brother. Salute. Yeah. So what you mentioning, that was said last week. And right now, again, Ludwig, every time he puts himself in a position where he can show Gunther, look, I'm able to take care of this person, making it easy for you, he's been dropping the ball. And Gunther prides himself on, we're not going to talk that shit if we're not living up to it.
That's how Giovanni got booted out.
Doing too much with, you know what I'm saying, too much lip service, so to speak.
Writing checks that your ass can't cash.
Very much so. So I mean, I don't know. I just, in a weird part of me, feels Gunther might drop the title to Damian Priest. And if this Goldberg last match does happen, I can see where Gunther and Goldberg go at it. And now Gunther doesn't even have to have the championship. He can, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to feel like one of those, how does Goldberg get this match against a champion? And he hasn't done nothing.
Well, the Goldberg stuff has been announced for some time next year. So we ain't got to worry about that for a minute. Now,
and that's why I feel like whatever they do, I don't know if it's going to be a Survivor Series. When is this? Do you know the exact time Damian Priest is going to get this title opportunity?
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
That's what Priest was talking about during his promo. So he's like, we ain't gotta wait till then. I'll whip your ass right now. But a part of me feels like Priest might get the one up on him, and then honestly, I would not be mad at round 3 at WrestleMania.
Mm.
So we saw how good round 1 was. If round 2 is just as good, buckle up, boys.
Yeah, again, when I say these are one of the matchups I didn't think I wanted or needed to see, it's becoming one of those again because, like I said to start off, Damian Priest came out hot. He ain't even let Gunther say like what you gonna say about it? It was kind of like Eminem when he was in 8 Mile. I'm outie. Tell these people something they don't know about me. Mic drop.
Yeah, I live in
Like,
the trailer park.
yeah, like he touched on all of that. Like, yeah, I'm Boricua trash. Yeah, I'm street trash. Yeah, I'm all of these things that you said. Now what? Like, that don't change the fact that I worked hard to get to my spot to win that heavyweight championship. And to be honest, you didn't even really beat me. My so-called brother costed me the match. That's what really like I like the fact that Damian was able to go back to that and find confidence in that. Like, yo, you know what? I'm be honest, I thought I did have trouble with you. But when I really sat here and thought about it, nah, I had you in the deep
I
end.
had your ass.
Yeah. Even so, like there was a moment in that match where Gunther had him in the sleeper hold and Damian almost got free of it. I kind of and again maybe it's not too much exposing the fact, but it's showing that that new maneuver for that new finisher for Gunther is not unescapable. It can be reversed. He can lose to it, as we seen what Cody do to him out in Saudi.
And even Gunther admitted, hey, he got me. It happened. Play his fuck up. Back to the drawing board.
Have we ever seen a Gunther in this mind state where he's having some self doubt? We seen after Damian Priest put the pause on Ludwig, sent him out the ring. Gunther was about to attack him, and then he fell back.
I've been watching this man's work for almost 10 years now. He's been in the game a lot longer than that, but there's only a small handful. I could probably count the times on one hand. The times not this vulnerable, but where he was internally defeated. This don't happen often, but that's when he knows he's in a dogfight and he knows he's got to tap into that zone, dial the fuck in. But the question in his mind is like, when I was in that zone, I was riding solo. Can I still tap into that zone with my dead weight in Ludwig?
I
Now,
think he
Ludwig
has.
in this segment played a very, very interesting role as far as some of the stuff he was talking about.
Okay. Continue.
Leading off with telling, now I'm paraphrasing, one of those, I ain't gonna let him talk to you like that. He ain't worthy of being in our presence. This man is trash.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Ludwig gonna talk that talk. You better bob and weave.
Yep. Which that also set up a match between Ludwig and Damian Priest later on in the night. So again, Ludwig has his chance to show Gunther, look, man, I'm about to soften up the competition for you.
Again.
We've seen it with Sammy. I mean, I think the Sammy one was the most telling. Like, all right, he couldn't even soften up Sami Zayn. Sammy beat him clean. Now it's
Tried
gonna
with
be
Cody, tried with Randy.
it's gonna be interesting to see the route that they choose to go between the both of them right there. Which I feel like we know which direction, but
Also tried with Sheamus. Let's not forget that one.
mm-hmm. Definitely try with Sheamus. So yeah, that pretty much they got out of there after after Damian Priest cleared Ludwig, Gunther fell back. He ain't really want no smoke.
He looked at it like, you got yourself in that mess, get yourself out of it.
Man. Now, Crown Jewel was this past weekend that just happened, right? Or it was the last 2 weeks?
Last weekend.
Last
Oh no,
weekend.
no, maybe a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was November. Oh yeah, it was the first Saturday. Oh yeah, so wow, he's still selling like Gunther. You got to give Gunther some kind of credit here, man.
Because
He's
they were in Saudi last week for Raw.
yup. So yeah, you got to give Gunther some kind of credit here for still selling the aftermath of the match with him and Cody, the jet lag, the travel,
And
cause
not only
that.
that, it's just the realization that he called his shot. He got caught like he did at Mania against Sammy, and you can tell it's eating at him inside.
Yup, he's been humbled once again.
One could say humbled. He'll look at it like I was embarrassed. I
Mm.
was humiliated. I was made to be a fool.
Nah, I
And
could
he,
agree with that because that's
and in
how
his
he holds
mind,
himself in high regards.
mhm. So if what I've seen with history shows with him, we're about to see an absolute monster in the coming months, maybe even the coming weeks.
And after that segment, we get a nice return.
A very pleasant return.
Yes, it seems that everybody on the internet was happy for this. I was like, I'm be honest, just to see Dakota Kai back on television, it was refreshing.
I didn't realize it had been 3 months. I thought it was maybe a few weeks.
I'm be honest, it felt longer for me because it's just the factor of she comes back, she gets injured. Like I don't have a great, it don't feel like she's there consistently in the ring. We might see her outside the ring when she's still injured, but like in ring wise, I was like, okay, we got damage control, and they're being positioned that I feel like they're face. They're not
Mhm.
on heel timing.
So
I,
let's see where this goes. I'm excited to see where it goes again. That 6 woman match was very impressive as well.
Kyrie Sane might have been doing it for a couple weeks now, but I feel like I just noticed she bring back the telescope. You
I
know,
did notice the telescope.
yeah,
Yeah, they had that in a minute.
little shout out to the people been watching her work early on. You've seen that she's incorporated that before, so I thought it was
So
dope to see that.
Sonya got a lot of action today too, which is good to see.
Yeah. I just feel like them girls right now, out of all of the factions, they at the bottom. They got a lot of work to do. Um, it's just they to me they're lacking a little bit of charisma. Like I know they're supposed to be like heels and shit and not liked, but it just give me like a cool heel or make me really hate you. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, oh yeah, pure fusion collective.
Now, could this be because Raw's 2 hours for the next month and a half, and we're basically getting Bloodline work on Mondays and Fridays?
It can be because I remember a time where they were on a mean street, pure fusion. They was out there busting people up,
Mhm.
damaging females, taking them off the roster. And today in this match, I felt like it was just totally damage control. Like I didn't really see much offense out of pure fusion for the three females they have. It's like we spoke about this before. You got three badass MMA caliber women on one team.
I wanted to see more out of Zoe 'cause I feel like she didn't get enough.
And she is the I
So
don't want to say the
Sonya,
youngest, but she's the freshest in terms of year on the roster. So,
Sonya got a lot of work. Shannon got an abundance. Zoe got a little bit.
yep, I see it on my screen right now. Zoe started off the match with Io, but
And that's one of those I felt like, yeah, they kind of like teased it what could have went down the road, but then it just stopped.
yep.
And I think the rest of rest of the match was all Shayna, mostly Shayna and Sonya.
But I think for good reason. Well, like no offense to them, but there's more money in the Jade and Bianca versus the Liv and Raquel. Jade and Bianca versus Nia and Tiffany, in my opinion. Like we done seen Jade and Bianca mix it in with most of these females. And I think it's at the point where, like, since to me in my eye, Jade, not Jade, Bianca especially, she's held heavyweight women's gold.
Mhm.
If they're gonna lose the belts to anybody, I think it should be in a situation where you lose to one of the current women's champions and her partner. Now I could see why the argument are made for some of these other tag teams, but a tag team like Pure Fusion, they haven't even got the time in with each other. So it's like putting them in the ring with Jade and Bianca was like we seen how that went. We seen how Shayna took her liberties, and
Yeah.
so I don't know like about them specifically right now. They got to do more for me, to be honest. Now I don't know what that more is, but like I said, you got to really make me hate you. Like if that's gonna be a thing, if we got to make an angle where they're doing things in matches and kind of getting matches thrown out, and it's blurring the lines of reality. Like, was that supposed to happen? Did she really just choke her out on purpose? Like, if they start doing things like that, then I'm like, oh yeah, I could get behind them because they on some like they on demon time. They going crazy.
So because Jade and Bianca are so dominant as a cohesive force, was it the right move putting the tag belts back on them as opposed to leaving them on Isla Dawn and Alba Fire?
It's just I don't understand the point because I would think like the idea is to build an actual tag team, which we've spoken about before. There's not really many real tag teams. Like when I think of tag teams, I'm thinking like the Road Warriors. I'm thinking like the Usos. I'm thinking about teams that wear the same gear, have
Well,
finishes, the
that
Dudley
all
Boy.
takes time.
Right. So it's like, how do we like get someone else to beat them? But then let's say when their time is over as tag team champions, I personally feel they're never gonna be a tag team again, Jade and Bianca.
No.
So like you said, we running up the numbers. They got 2 titles under their belt, 2 tag titles. They was just on Raw saying how the tag team belts been defended X amount of times this year. Now I don't think all 20 was for them. I think they just meant in collective of the title itself.
Well, it could have been their combined 2 reigns if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, since the beginning of the year, if you're talking
Because
January,
according to Tessator, going into the main event, they were on a 10 match winning streak.
yeah, so like, look, you running up fantastic numbers that are like, yeah, they can be beat by, let's say, Unholy Union, right? Let's say Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. They could run up them numbers and eventually beat that, or Damage Control,
Hell, they almost lost to the Meta Girls, Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend.
which I think that would have been a good team to lose to, if you really want to incorporate the fact that them tag belts are supposed to be defended on all 3 brands.
Hmm.
It'll give some like the NXT as a third brand, as I feel like they're doing tonight. I keep seeing now. This isn't the first time they've advertised NXT PLE, but I don't see no NXT logo on there. It just says WWE Deadline. Like
Right.
this is how they would advertise a Raw or a SmackDown PLE. So it's a couple different directions that tag team belts can go with. I ultimately feel like going back to Pure Fusion, they need work. I think Damage Control now with Dakota Kai back in the fold, they can really do things there again with them.
They can get back on track till Oscar gets back, hopefully soon.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, listen too. We got the new United States Women's Championship. We can have
Yeah.
a scenario in the future where Damage Control got all the belts, or not all the belts, but every belt they can obtain. EO can have the Women's Championship again. Kabuki Warriors, the tag belts. Dakota Kai, the United States Women's belt.
Can you imagine?
And I think I like it because I'm not tired of Damage Control. Like I know some people felt like, oh
It's just with them, every time they get some kind of momentum, there's an unfortunate injury.
yeah, I feel like EO Sky's been the most durable one out of them.
Hmm.
unfortunately. And Kyrie saying too since she's come back, but she's had some scares as well along the way.
And you can tell it's taken her a while to get back into her actual groove where she's just confident doing whatever. Like early in the year, she's a little bit gun shy. Now it's like, oh no, I'm back.
Oh yeah, she's
I'm
good.
in my zone.
So I
Because
see
she was flying all over the place tonight.
if the cards are in their favor, I see a bright future for damage control. Honestly, like it could only go up too. And Oscar, I don't know her timeline too, but again, let's just say if she's one of those names introduced in some kind of tournament or something, you know.
Allegedly, her and Charlotte are right there at the door. We shall see.
Yeah. So then we get to I don't remember the order, but I think we got the backstage segment with R-Truth, Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and you know, Kofi was basically explaining to R-Truth he wanted to help him, but Xavier was telling him not to, and you see Xavier in the back with a grin, like,
Oh
word, like,
no, there was one more gentleman in that little pile right there too.
yeah,
Just
who
don't
what?
call me Butch.
Oh man, when he came through, that's basically what sets up the next match, right? Like,
He was ready for a fade.
man, listen, he
Tell
cut
the
off
truth.
whatever he cut off whatever they was talking about.
What the truth? Hey, we got problems, whatever. Truth say, oh, that wasn't me, dog. And then Kobe chimes in. You want some too?
Yeah. Now, the part that boosted minds about Pete Dunne at that moment was Xavier's trying to like, you know, diffuse the situation. Nah, he don't want that. And then Pete Dunne's like, oh yeah, so you're gonna let him talk for you now, huh? Straight instigated the
Money.
situation. Money. And I'm not gonna lie, like just a week or two ago, remember I was saying how, oh, what if this sets Kofi up to be a I think Kofi looks kind of foolish now, especially with how the match with him and Pete Dunne unfolded. Wouldn't you like back when they were like that's the problem with Kofi right now. I feel like he's not like we spoke on New Day were heels coming in. Kofi
Correct.
is like okay, the power of positivity is what got you guys over. Understood.
And now that he's gone, he's trying to maintain that power positivity.
And this is why I feel like Xavier is gonna set himself up to be a cool heel and not a bad one because he's doing the right things he got to do to win a match. Like I got to do what I got to do to win, bro. It's like
He misses them winners purse that they used to get.
yeah. If it was the roles were reversed, anybody else would have did that same clothesline that Xavier did.
Yeah, because you're trying to lock in the dub for your partner, for your team. But what I thought was interesting about all this was, or not about this part in general, but just it's been rumored that the go home show for Survivor Series is essentially going to be centered around the New Day's anniversary, 10 years.
Mm.
It's supposed to be heavily around the New Day. So could we see some chicanery then? Will we have a Big E sighting? I would hope. But after we saw the match with Kofi and Pete Dunne, a part of me might think that instead of, like I've been predicting for months, that Woods taking out Kofi, it might be Kofi snaking E.
Mm.
Because E will try to say, "Hey, we're brothers, we're family, we're better than this. Let's just go backstage and we'll hash it out, whatever." And Kofi have one of those. Oh, you want his side now? Boom.
That would be again. That'd be a way to get Kofi hated too, because I don't see Kofi surviving as like a face during this roster right now. All the heels are just gonna run him over. I don't see no underdog story for Kofi right now. Like all the heels to me are they in beast mode. Like
What about Kofi and Obafemi?
that shit gonna be Wesley and Obafemi Part 5.
No, I'm talking about them as a team.
Oh, as a team, that'd be crazy. Like for real. What's Obafemi's nationality?
He's born
He's from the
stateside, but I
same.
think he
He from
might
the
be
same
Nigerian
side.
as well. Yeah. Let's
Okay,
see.
but Kof. Okay,
I think Kobe. Yeah, Obafemi's ties are to Nigeria. Kofi's ties are to Ghana.
my man Commander Aziz, that man. My man Commander Aziz,
Oh,
man.
no. That man is doing the indies right now.
He good.
He back under Daba Kanto now.
About to say my man Commander Aziz, man. I thought he was gonna be lit. I used to pick him in that one WWE game he was in.
Yeah,
Man,
he did. He's doing some intergender stuff now.
oh my man out there wilding, wilding.
Yeah, he has become one of them.
Man, but yeah, just going back to the Kofi and Xavier stuff, I'm more locked into what they doing now. Like, I really feel like they doing a better job at giving that shit more TV time. Like, I feel like more of the stuff with them used to feel rushed or not rushed, but a little drawn out. Like, we don't know what we waiting for now. Every week, we starting to see the layers between them,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of glad that they got that. Like, it happened for other reasons, but I don't think they needed to introduce somebody like Odyssey Jones to get
Boo.
something right, to get something between them. You feel me? Like I think they could have took the same route that they took now with Xavier feeling unhappy about losses. Like that's the common theme we starting to see. Like losses have consequences, whether it's kayfabe or not, whether it's in story or not. We seeing people all over the place being unhappy with losses. The Street Profits, Xavier. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back on top. That's the main objective. Like,
The Street Profits is a whole another story.
yeah, that's why that's why I just say in story or not. Like, we got to think. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's how the landscape is heading into the 9 o'clock hour. Bronson Reed, man,
With a sweet new shirt.
man, big Bronson Razor, yes sir. I'm waiting for that shirt, man. I know you're gonna get it. I can't wait to see it. Seth Rollins just comes out ready for smoke. Not gonna
Oh
lie,
no! Before that, Bronson was in his bag too on the mic. Hey, yeah,
man.
you got me, whatever. But hey, you want to run back, whatever. I'm right here. What's good?
And it's crazy. Like I thought I didn't think we'll be still on this. I knew they was gonna spin the block back on it because of how they match ended. But it's like again, the conclusion was we're gonna get them next week. Boss, what's
Hey,
the word, man? Salute, brother. Like we gonna get them next week. So it's like I feel like at Survivor Series they're gonna get one of those matches, bro. It's gonna be no holds barred or no
oh no!
disqualification.
According to Pierce, after next week,
This should be
Dunzo.
it,
He tired of it.
man. I guess we gotta, fill out the weeks. I felt like again, I don't really want to see them caught up, right? But what happens after all of this is what really caught my intrigue.
Was it after or was it before?
After,
Oh, sorry, it was right after. That's right.
mm-hmm. I remember. I think it was Joe.
Well, let's set the table for him because
Go ahead, go
part of
ahead.
this did start before this little segment.
Mm-hmm.
We get the OG bloodline, all that happy go lucky. Jimmy and Samuel still got the little tension. Jay's trying to play mediator of all people.
That's right. That's right. I skipped over that little segment, right? You know what I'm saying? Yup. Go ahead, get to it. Yup.
But again, much like how I stated last Friday, I'm kind of with Jimmy on this one. I don't trust Sammy as far as I can throw him right now. Something seem a little fishy. And once again, we much like Solo said last Friday, we are teasing a possible 5v5. Sammy says, I know somebody. Jay, I'm gonna text you with whatever I figure out.
Which was complete bullshit because as as we seen who his first option was.
Oh boy!
That was
Now,
complete
before we get into
bullshit.
that, this was the last person I would have expected him to go to.
Last person.
I'm thinking something right now. I'm thinking maybe an Ilya. I'm thinking maybe a Sheamus. I'm just counting down, checking the roster. Okay, which baby faces, whatever that would just do a good favor for a friend. That's where my mind was going. Never in 1,000 years would I expect Sami Zayn's first person to go to would be none other than Seth freaking Rollins.
Man. When I seen that, my immediate thoughts was it's not gonna happen, but just the prospect of it. Like, just imagine.
And
But I
Sami,
thought, like, go ahead.
no, I was just watching the second back not too long ago. It's just for him to start off with, hey, you got problems with Roman. I got problems with Roman. But guess what? I can put that behind me. So can you. Now, Seth's choice of words, he went a different route than where I thought he was going to go, but the end result was still the same. I thought he was going to talk about how, yeah, I broke the family up. Yeah, this happened, blah, blah, blah. Instead, went with I tried to take his ass out. That man was a tyrant. I will never team with him ever again. Sami, you are out of your mind.
And I was completely surprised because I didn't think that, like, now I'm seeing a new part of Seth too. Like, he holds a grudge towards Roman. But my thing is like this. In Seth's case, just Seth, because everybody else can make their own case. Seth, you turned on the Shield first, brother. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right.
Roman ain't never going to forgive you. But like I said, long before Roman even thinks of forgiving him, Seth knows them two still got to dance one more time.
Yes. Yes. And you've been saying that for a while, so it's like,
And aside from Jey Uso, Seth Rollins is the one person that Roman's never really beaten.
right. I mean, also too, like, Seth Rollins done fucked over Roman Reigns. Like, if you just go back in the history books when he did the infamous cash in of all cash-ins at WrestleMania, he cashed in on Roman and Brock Lesnar and just swooped the title right in the middle like they match.
The heist of the century.
So I'm beyond, for me, I always felt like, yes, Roman went about things the wrong way with how he conducted the bloodline and how he chose to run things. But ultimately, within WWE, he was given no other option.
And also, like we started with, or the whole thing stems with, Seth broke up the Shield. Seth swung the chair. What was it? It was a Rumble Survivor Series. Seth chose to taunt Roman with the Shield music and wearing the Shield gear.
Hell, why does Roman even still got blue in his background?
Believe that.
He still wears the pants that would resemble the Shield days. He
Still got the
lost the
glove.
best. Yeah.
He only just swapped the boots.
Man, like, I mean, that was a time that I don't think any of them could ignore that really put them on the map. You know what I'm saying?
Hell, prior to him coming back from leukemia, he still had the damn song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before the tribal chief music that we got. It was like just a spinoff off the Shield without the Sierra, Hotel, you know what I'm saying? Indigo. You didn't have the army intro.
Now, on this notion, it's going to be very interesting on Friday when Roman goes up to Sami and say, "Why'd you go to him? Why him?" He's going to look to Jay. I can't trust him. You know what he did to me.
And I don't know the order of, I don't want to get everything too confused here because some of my notes I don't have everything here, but we also seen who Jimmy tried to go holler at.
Now we don't know what went down with that conversation because I thought it was very clever how they went to that and then straight to a commercial.
And Braun Breaker, I'll listen.
Now, could that be? I need you to take Sammy out. I need you to straighten my brother out so you can see the lights. We don't know, but that's another one. Him
But
as a fifth man. Yeah, you can argue that again. Him versus Jacob would be nice and all that, but still, with Jay and Roman, they remember the words that he said before Jay being for the belt. No one in your family has ever beaten anyone in my family. You know Roman ain't letting that slide.
and Jay already had like took care of that in a sense, like, cause now if we go back a little bit, Braun Breaker said the only reason he wanted smoke again with Jay Uso is because he felt disrespected. Like he went out there to congratulate him, and he felt like Jay was kind of throwing it in his face a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the real reason why he wanted to take the belt back from him the second time. But it seemed like if that's how they, because it was a little bit odd to us when he did do that. But then we got the justification later on as to why he did that. But it seems like he that was probably just part of the shit talk. And he got other fish to fry too. Him and Jacob had that stare down.
Is it too far fetched to think that maybe Jimmy's the fifth man?
Who? Jimmy?
Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't see it. He got viciously kicked out of that bloodline. Like they done beat this man down, took him off TV for
Okay.
months. If he goes, like Jimmy's a sellout, man.
I mean, if you think about
And you
it,
know what though?
he left the OG bloodline and came back a couple weeks later.
I give you this though. Something does very feel like I'm waiting for something to happen. Like I don't know.
A lot of seems off.
Yeah, something feels like all right. Like let me paint the picture for you guys in the chat. Have you ever had a disagreement with one of your friends? It don't got to be in this case, let's say a close friend, right? And now this disagreement or argument you guys had, you try to repatch, relive the moments, but the aura, the air feels a little off, a little different because there's things that's still unsaid, unspoken, things they haven't really hashed out. That's what this
There is
feels
such
like.
things as irreconcilables.
This could be a good old lining up, what we like to call a good old lineup.
But
Because
again,
Sami Zayn is great at collecting information. That's one thing we know about his character. He's great at collecting and retaining information and playing his cards well in a way that favors him.
now where was Jay when Jimmy pulled up on Braun? Is what I want to know.
Who was Jay trying to find?
Where was Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I could all assume they pulled the we all go different ways trying to look for people, but yeah, it's a good like
Jay could
that
be
was a
like,
funny person to talk to.
Jay's gonna probably like, I'm gonna be in the car, or whatever. Jimmy's like, I'm gonna go back. I'll be right back. I'll meet you at the car.
Yeah, it was man, that moment itself though, just it almost feels it's nowhere near the same, but it's almost feeling like the tease of the NWO, the third member. Who's the third member? Who's the third member? In this case, for the War Games, is who's the fifth member gonna be? Now, I think we all got speculations because who it seems like whoever they're gonna include got to be story involved. Like they're not just gonna pull a random out of right, like just to fucking do it out of a big whoa. But what I do think, if they were to do that, what if Sami Zayn or any member of the bloodline comes in contact with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman gets the Beast as the fifth member, the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
If that were to happen, which again I would love, then Sammy's pulling the wool over the OG blood, and he's really Solo's fifth man.
We've got no answer as to really why Brock Lesnar F5'd Cody Rhodes the day after Mania.
Brock being Brock. Brock don't like being shut up by nobody. But again, I can see those things where I in my heart, if Rock isn't the fifth man for Survivor Series, then I'm still leaning towards Sammy. And then again, this could be next week, this week, maybe the go home show, and then Roman will probably give the nod to the Usos, saying, "I'll make the call."
Mm.
But again, on this notion, could you imagine? Now we've been talking about this for months, plausibly, of potentially the 3 Paul Heyman men in this match. If we get at least 2 of them,
Yeah.
and the Paul Heyman man at that.
Yeah, Punk is my guy, but Brock Lesnar has to be the one.
Brock was the original.
Only reason is because you do still have Jacob Fatu on the other side of that match, and I think Brock
Imagine that
Lesnar is the
stare down.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. With
My
this
hair
version of the
standing up right
Bloodline,
now.
this version of the Bloodline 2.0, people could like not like this as an opinion, but so as long as they got Jacob on that team, it makes it a very hard team to defeat.
I'm even intrigued to see Tongaloa and Tama throw down with Brock.
I mean,
because those two can match their physicality as well, much like Jacob. Don't let the size fool you.
if Brock's in a good mood, they'll get some work off. I see Suplex City for them though.
No, but again, but one thing with Brock, if you can match his energy, he will work with you. But not many can match his energy.
Man, that'd be a crazy fifth if they could add Brock for that. Like,
Because it'd be I don't see Punk coming in anytime soon. But again, that's something that we might have to consider as well.
we just seen him in a cage match though. I know it's
That's
different.
true.
Hell in a Cell, War Games is different, but there's no desire for me to see Punk put in another situation like that. To be honest, not this soon.
And with him, we would have to see the mic work leading up to it. Brock, that's an easier just plug and play. And then Paul Heyman at another episode on TV could be like, we were in the neighborhood. Because I can imagine Saskatchewan's not far from Vancouver.
Mm. Mm. Just to paint a picture, right? Like, man,
Let me check the map real quick. They're in Vancouver, right? For the PLE?
I believe so. I believe so. But yeah, oh man, that'd be that. I'd love that right there if they do that. But yeah, we had Sammy, talking to Seth. Seth saying no, we're not gonna tear down. He said not we. I'm not gonna tear down Roman Reigns to help bring him back up. Like you said, he's out of his mind. Um, we didn't get Damian Priest and Ludwig Kaiser.
And we also got more intel on Damian Priest's new song.
Yeah, what was the backdrop on that?
One of the dudes, or the dude that does the guitar in it, is in the band Slayer.
Okay. Yeah, so
And also,
Damian
I'm not
Priest.
sure. I'm not sure you noticed. Priest redid the voiceovers on the song too. He's talking in Spanish now.
I thought I heard something different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we might get some Bad Bunny stuff with him soon, man. Like you seen him wearing a Bad Bunny shirt today. I don't know if that's a tease for things to come because I looked up that tour. That was supposed to be like done already. That tour. So for him to come up with that,
After 2025, though.
What? Oh, so he's still going in 2025 for those dates? For the
We don't know what Bunny's got planned for 2025.
yeah. Nah, cause I
Again,
was looking at the
maybe a
name of
Rumble
that
appearance
tour.
for all we know.
Man. Then I mean Damian Priest picked up the victory. I felt like the match was like a breeze by to me because I felt like I in my mind I knew Ludwig wasn't gonna pick up the victory. Like we speaking on the trajectory of where he's been at with things. I
It's
seen
more
him
to
take
it's more
it
to
out.
fuel the plausible dissension between Gunther and Ludwig.
Hmm. Then we get that moment where they showed the
Well,
Miz backstage.
I was gonna say, as Karen Cross said, "You're alive."
Man, we get the moment with the Miz backstage. See, for a moment, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't happy with it. I was like, oh man, I'm disappointed. Like somehow the Miz got away. Like I'd picture they keep running with this thing for a few weeks. Like like it was entertaining.
Little did we know.
Yeah, so they pulled for now. They pulled the plug on the Miz being abducted from the Y6. He's on his own free will right
Well,
now.
no, like Miz said, hey, I just told them I'm gonna cut it out, whatever. They let me go, but that wasn't good enough for Cross. So he told AOP, grab a leg. Now I'm
And,
wondering, like,
mhm,
at what point did he bust his head open?
right. They
Like, did
got
they
him
just
good.
like bang his head against the corners or leaving Gorilla or something or what? Like, my bad.
So was this a convenient time for the Miz to just take his opportunity and attack the Wyatts, or did he plan this out with the Final Testament? What you feel? What's your stance on this? I know I heard the commentators reference something like, "Oh, the Miz is behind us. He was down with this."
Again, maybe he had a plan because again, Miz got history with the, for lack of a better term, the person that embodied by Uncle Howdy in Bo Dallas. That was his protege once upon a time. So his mind is like, I gotta take him out myself. Now the thing is, I think you and I can both agree that this matchup particularly would have been a much easier plug-in for War Games.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest. Um, I'm surprised they has is there a woman one announced yet or no?
Nah, not that I. Nope.
Would it be a bad idea if the two War Games matches are men's matches?
Nah, because much like we spoke on, I'd be more interested in the Y6 versus Final Testament, and you'll have a blend of both.
It's two different stories, two different. It'd be literally two different matches if you think about it.
You could have Nikki Cross and you could have Scarlett in the match.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll get petty offense off to the fellas, like maybe a cross body from off the top rope to one of the guys, and we'll limit, because we know WWE really hasn't shown too much intergender stuff in terms of letting guys get stuff off on females. So we'll
What,
probably
what
see
was
it the
what
other
was the
way around.
last one? Baron Corbin giving Becky the end of days or Deep Six,
Mm-hmm. That I can remember, yeah.
and then before that we had Dolph Ziggler and Cody Rhodes put the pause on Nia Jax at the Rumble.
Yep. So it'd have been a fun match just to see Final Testament and Y6 in a War Games match if we're gonna have a secondary one. If we got a secondary match, I don't want to see nothing like what we seen at the end of the main event for tonight's match. I don't want to see Jade, Bianca. Who else came to help? Naomi, Io Sky, possibly another member from Damage Control versus Liv Morgan, Raquel. Who came out for
I
them? Nia Jackson, Tiffany Stratton.
yep.
But I mean, I'm gonna say this though. If that happens, that may create a possibility for
A
Tiffany to
cash
cash
in.
in. too many participants in the ring.
That's too much going on even for that match.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. But it can create that moment.
What I would honestly appreciate if did you watch NXT last week by chance?
Not all of it. I seen just Jada and
Did you catch the 5v5
Lola.
at the main event by chance?
Nah.
Watch that match. If that match would have been the lineup for War Games, I would have been all for it.
Mm.
No doubt whatsoever. That 5v5 with the women would have been perfect for War Games.
Yeah, like I don't know if they go with these women right now for the just to have a women's war games match, it'll make sense because of how they building it right now and how they've been building it over the last few weeks. But I don't want to just I've said this, I don't want to see matches just because it's the name of the PLE.
You mean like how we get the random folks for Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank? With NXT starting tomorrow, we're getting the entry matches for the Iron Survivors matches, which is, for those that may not know, it's like TNA's King of the Mountain match.
I mean, like if we're gonna have a PLE based on an event, I think like King of the Ring makes sense. But like we spoke on before, we'd like to see at least the semifinal and the final rounds, not just the complete finals in the King of the Ring PLE, like
Right.
and you filling it up with other stuff. Like we'd like to at least have that feel of an actual tournament in one night. Mm, I feel like Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, I go back and forth on. I'm glad that they took away Hell in a Cell. Survivor Series to me, I think is I think it's time we go back to the old format.
Brand
Like
Warfare?
yeah, if you want to have war games at some other time in the in the year, then we can have that. We can have a war games in the middle of SummerSlam, 2 nights SummerSlam in the future. Like
Oh, speaking of which, there's a rumor that started earlier this morning that that could be a sign of that to come, in which they're thinking about bringing back the SmackDown versus Raw franchise in replace of WWE 2K.
yeah, I mean they doing a callback to everything. I think brand warfare needs to be established, and we need to start fighting for little things that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like give us an incentive to if you're a fan of Raw, if you're a fan of SmackDown, root for your brand, root for your favorite superstars. And it kind of gives the company a little idea of who's holding it down on what show, who's
Yep.
selling what kind of merch, who's doing what. Again, I'm always say I've always thought it was when I was growing up, it was special to see Cena on one brand and Batista on another brand, completely away from each other. And then the first time we get their showdown was at the Rumble, albeit
Or
that
or
shit
before
happened.
or before that, you got Big Show and Kane putting Batista through a car with a double choke slam.
Yeah, like there was other shit going on. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of times that they was able to split the rosters and it didn't hurt them back when there was a big crop of, and if allegedly this is the best crop of talent right now, they should be able to do the same thing, in my opinion.
It'd be a great test for all of them, NXT included.
I mean, we already got the this is the starting phases, but we already got managers in place. They to me, they've been a little too friendly. Like they see eye to eye on a lot of shit. They agree on a lot of shit. And I guess for the storyline, putting on the better shows for the fans is their objective. But once they get into that competitive general manager, like, nah, like again, Survivor Series, a brand warfare. Oh, the winner of this Survivor Series, that brand gets number 30 in the Royal Rumble. Easy,
Whoever gets pinned got to be number one.
easy.
Add some more significance to everything else.
Yeah, because one
Or,
year